But when I first started, my mind was busy. Oh my God, right? When I first started Falun Dafa teaching, number one, my mind was all about modern science. When I read Masley's book, I was analyzing Masley's book with modern science knowledge, right? This is correct. This is not 100% correct. This is not correct. You know what I mean? This is what a human being treats spiritual teaching like that. You are a kindergartner. You have a great teacher comes to you. You start to look at your great teacher. Oh, his sneaker looks a little dirty. Oh, his hair is a little too long. Oh, his clothes can be like, you know what I mean? That's called a human being, okay? Human beings treat the spiritual teacher, when the spiritual teacher is teaching you something very, very profound, your mind is thinking about superficialities associated with the teacher, correct? That's how I started, okay? But then I had a very lucky environment in Seattle. The fellow practitioners were elder grandma, many of them, right? And they very, very kind, and they very, very serious, right? They treated Masley with great respect. And I looked at them, oh, in my heart I felt they're good. I'm not that good. I could feel their goodness, right? So with that kind of environment, I became gradually more humble. I gradually understand that, maybe I'm not thinking correct. Maybe there was something bigger than what I understand. Because I listened to their understandings, and I sat there and I listened. Oh my God, how come I didn't realize that when I read the book? How come they realize that? But they are not PhD. They're not professor. They are just like old ladies. They read Chinese, even make mistakes. But they enlighten to the truth so profound, I never even thought of it, right? That's how I gradually understand. Human world knowledge, PhD, smartness, Chinese language art, expert, it doesn't mean anything. It has something to do with respecting the teacher. Be careful, read, study, right? And then they taught me what's the proper way of studying Zhuang Fa, right? Read from beginning to the end, just smoothly read through it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You know what I mean? So that's how I know that those real cultivators, they don't pay attention to the, social status, the income level, the look, and everything. They just sincerely believe in Masley, and they sincerely read the book, and then they enlighten to the truth. And when I talk to them, I recognize, oh my God, how come those people can converse me about the frontier life science research result? When I talk to them, they say, makes sense, correct. But we think, and they even give some suggestions, like, this is seriously good. There is something serious about this teaching here. I'm going to also be humble, every day read, exercise, and follow what is considered to be the correct way to cultivate. That's how I made progress. And gradually, I started to understand some fundamental disciplines about to be a cultivator. So that's why today I want to tell you that for treating a book like this, I only tell you that most likely the Shentadao students need to listen to my words here, okay? I think they may not be doing the correct thing. The Christians, the Buddhists, so-called, modern times, I think they may not be doing the correct way of doing the cultivation way. They're not being careful to follow their teacher. They're not respecting the teacher enough, and they are running formalities. And the worst thing that they do is to take parts of the teachings out from the middle of the book and then started to talk about it as if this is the essence of the book. This book has many contents with a sequence, seriously arranged, seriously scientifically laid out for the student to make improvement. But if the student is arrogant and want to teach themselves and extract certain things they think fitting into their notions, like you think gratitude to parents fit into your heart, you keep on promoting it. That's not good, because you are taking serious spiritual discipline as if just some random knowledge and can extract it out and give it to other people and think that people will understand it. When you are doing that, you mislead people, and people will start to misunderstand the book, and leading to many people misunderstand the book, and people otherwise would be reading the whole book from beginning to the end when they are ready. No, before they are ready, you are already giving them things that they will not understand the full scale of it, and you are ruining those people's chance. So I disagree about any individual who claim that to be a follower of Jesus or Buddha or Lao Tzu and start to extract the contents of a great spiritual teaching and then start to broadcasting it to other people and explain it in the way that they understand what that means. I think it's destroying. That's how Buddhism got destroyed in India. Okay, and in the book of Zhuan Falun, Master Li says that, always remember, right, how the students enlightened to Buddha's teaching at different levels, but none of them has reached to the Buddha's level. Buddha reached the Tathagata level, but the Buddha students, they all enlightened to much lower level, okay? And then they use their levels of understanding of Buddha's teaching and start to teach Buddha's teaching. And they basically start to eventually make Buddha's teaching, the inner content, which is the law of the universe, at different levels, totally messed around, disappeared. That's how Buddhism reached to the end of the time. And that's why Buddhism no longer can teach people. Now, the teacher of this school, when he first started, he enlightened to very important truths. But the students are not following the teacher's teaching carefully and truly work on themselves and allow the teachers, power to guide them, and they all go their own way. And eventually, they basically allow this school of spirituality very quickly unable to continue to do its important work. So if today it comes to here, I believe for our teaching, right? For me, I believe that the verses of the book has this verse at the end of the book, okay?
Yeah.
Those have independent, each verse is independent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You can take a verse out and you can teach the Chinese characters, and then we can share our understandings of what that verse means. That is something that we can do in this moral text, moral classroom. But in terms of the entire text of cultivation way, or much bigger, if we're going to teach, we're going to teach from beginning to the end. No skipping, no jumping, with a sequence. Okay, with a sequence, and that is called respect. Otherwise, we are doing something, we think we are doing something good, but in reality, we are destroying the flow of the teaching.
Okay.
Agree?
Okay, yeah.